Hey guys, it's Dozen. Today I'll be talking about JonTron, which if you haven't heard recently has been getting a lot of shit from anyone in the gaming industry, apart from really gamers themselves for the most part. And the reason is he was on a live stream where he was sharing his opinion and views on immigration and other different aspects, I guess, which aren't related to anything he does on his normal channel, which is about video games and movies. And he got a lot of shit for it. Now, I'm someone that believes everybody has the right to say whatever they want. I don't agree 100% with JonTron, but he is free to say whatever he likes. I didn't feel anything he said was terribly, horrible, but he wasn't really that great with the debate. He obviously doesn't really do this often, and I feel like he used the wrong words in certain places. But that's pretty much the whole story. A lot of people calling him a racist and a Nazi, a lot of crazy shit, just because of his views on immigration and because he brought some facts. Now, I believe what happened recently is a much bigger deal, because JonTron would have been in this game if it wasn't for the comments he made. Now, I want to point out that the reason I say he was punished for what he did is because, first of all, he was just stating his viewpoint and sharing his opinion. And I think that's something we should admire, that someone is willing to talk about such sensitive topics like JonTron, which had no reason to do so, yet he does it because he thinks this is an important thing to talk about, yet a lot of people give him shit for that. But what's even worse, his own fans are getting basically punished for what JonTron did for really no reason at all. I really failed to see why removing him from the game is going to be effective, it's really required at all. But I'll go a little bit into what exactly the statement was from Playtonic. So in their statement, they say, "We recently became aware of comments made by voice artist JonTron after development on Yooka-Laylee had been completed. JonTron is a talented video presenter who we were initially 2 years ago happy to include as a voice contributor in our game. However, in light of his recent personal viewpoints, we have made a decision to remove JonTron's inclusion in the game via forthcoming content update. We would like to make absolutely clear that no, we do not endorse or support JonTron's personal viewpoints, and that as an external fan contributor, he does not represent Playtonic in any capacity. Playtonic is a studio that celebrates diversity in all forms and strives to make games that everyone can enjoy. As such, we deeply regret any implied association that could make players feel anything about 100% comfortable in our game worlds or distract from the incredible goodwill and love shown by our fans and Kickstarter backers." What I find really interesting in that whole statement is how they make it very clear we do not want to have this person on board in any way, shape, or form related to our game because of having a very different viewpoint. Now, first of all, I really fail to see how removing him will benefit the game in terms of sales or attention. I think if they kept JonTron around, and even if he had a minor role, that would have probably sold some extra copies to big fans of JonTron because they just want to support him in a way, and he probably would have definitely did some marketing for the game. JonTron did reply to this saying, I understand where they're coming from. It kind of sucks that I'm not going to be in the game, but, I get why they had to do it. I really don't. And I really have a big issue with what they are doing right here. This kind of mentality where everybody expects everyone to think the same way, and if you have some sort of different opinion, automatically, you don't want to associate with those people, it really annoys me more than anything else. JonTron is a person that has a YouTube channel. Now, as a YouTube channel, you should care for him for his YouTube content, for what he produces, not have to be influenced by what he believes in his own personal life. If that's too much of big of an issue, how do you deal with watching movies, TV shows, or whatever? Do you go over the list of anybody that had a part into, let's say, Game of Thrones, and if there's someone that doesn't share the same opinion, you don't watch it? Nobody does that. Yet on YouTube, we're seeing this kind of attack on the person that because they have a different viewpoint, because they're willing to touch upon any sensitive subject, we're automatically punishing them. And here, even JonTron fans are being punished. Now, the crazy thing is most people are supporting JonTron with this whole situation. And a lot of people do not like the fact that the developers of Yooka-Laylee did what they did. In fact, I was looking a little bit on Twitter, and most people seem to be pretty pissed off at what they do. The fact that they're acting so childish in a way, that because they don't agree with someone, they're actually willing to eliminate JonTron. Now, obviously, there have been a lot of people involved in this decision. This is something that was talked throughout the entire studio. This is not a decision they take lightly because, let's face it, having someone like JonTron in the game is gonna somewhat help your sales. But what I find really incredible is that it's gonna backfire on them, because someone like me, that I look at Yooka-Laylee and think, oh, this looks like it could be a fun game, but I did not support on Kickstarter because I'm not that into it, or I don't have any attachment to the game or what it's trying to be. Well, I now do not really care to ever want to support them financially when I see how they act. JonTron in no way, shape or form had an issue with diversity and different kind of people. He only made a statement on immigration. Now, I'm the kind of person that believes, no, immigration isn't good unless it's controlled in a way where it makes sense. I live in a country where immigration isn't exactly great here. It's not really giving us any benefit, yet we have to act like immigration is the way to go. And that's one thing I agree with JonTron. The idea that immigration is fine and everybody should be allowed is not a good thing. But I'm not going to get into that. The funny thing is that JonTron never mentioned that he doesn't like people of different race or whatever. He just basically brought facts. He spoke his opinion on immigration, and now Playtonic, a game developer, is actually punishing him for being open. And let's face it, how many people would have played the game, maybe came across the character, heard his voice, some people wouldn't even notice, and would think, oh, automatically Playtonic supports the statements that JonTron makes. Many people won't, because it doesn't make any sense. How many people work on big AAA games? Hundreds, thousands, if not more, right? Do we sit there and see the credits and find every single person and see what they post on Twitter and their viewpoints? So if we do not support them, we just don't buy the game or play it? Nobody does that. And the fact that they admit it just because they don't like his viewpoint, they're completely eliminating from the game. It's not because he sucks at voice acting or he did a poor job, but on something that is not related to the final product really sucks and is just a stupid way to handle the situation. And again, I'm glad it backfired in a way. And all I can say really is fuck Playtonic. Really, it could have been any developer and I would still have been pissed off about it. Because again, it makes very little sense. And right now I'm seeing a huge divide in terms of gamers and the gaming media or anyone part of the gaming industry. Because the gaming industry has a certain view and expects certain things, whilst most gamers are fine with someone giving out an opinion, even if you don't agree with JonTron. You can not agree with JonTron and still like his shit or his content or have him in a game as a minor character, because at the end of the day, JonTron has over 3 million subscribers. That's more people than will give a fuck about Playtonic as a company. And all of these stories that we're hearing are only helping JonTron. Most people are coming in defense for JonTron because they know that for the most part, whatever he said, however badly he put it, he's not a bad person. Yet the gaming industry and everybody involved in the media is trying to assassinate him as a character, to ruin his career and so forth. And if that's your thing, fine. But I think that's one of the most horrible things to do when it's just because you don't agree with someone. Anybody should be free to speak out their mind. And that's exactly what JonTron did in this occasion. What I really find funny is that Playtonic themselves said they like diversity, but apparently that's based on race and gender, not on opinion, because if you have a different opinion, you can just fuck off apparently. So I'm definitely behind JonTron on this. I'm not even a big fan of his. I've watched some of his stuff, but again, I'm not like an active subscriber, yet I definitely will support him because I just cannot believe how badly just everyone seems to be attacking someone because of having a different fucking opinion. So what do you think about it? You think JonTron has the right to speak out his mind, or you still feel offended about what he said? You think Playtonic did the right decision? I mean, again, they have the right to do so. I'm just saying that was a completely stupid decision to make. But whatever the case may be, put it in the comment section below and let me know. If you liked the video, hit the like button as well, and subscribe to be informed when the next video is up. That was all, and have a good one.